Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show. I'm Jason with RE/MAX Results.
And I'm Dawn with RE/MAX Results. See, that's all about Dawn. Good day, sunshine.
It is? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know they said that song about Dawn.
I'm making it that way, Jason.
I love that song.
So we have Steve Furlong, Mortgages Unlimited, and Justin Arneson here with All Energy Solar, and we're going to be talking about solar. On break, we were talking with Justin because Dawn and I are both realtors. Steve is a lender. He indicated on the first segment that he might be looking to buy potentially, so we're asking him about the situation on that. And it reminded Steve and me of our first property that we bought, and this is something for you out there if you're thinking of buying or know someone that is, or maybe it's a family member, a cousin, a child, a grandchild. And if they're in that millennial age group, which I think is now you're in the 20s, right? I would imagine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Pull the trigger on it, buy, and you have a lot of people. There's a lot of people in your sphere group at that age that are looking for rent and don't want to pay the $1,500, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month for downtown or uptown or wherever these apartments are. So you can have them rent a room from you if you get a house that has 3 or 4 bedrooms. And then that will offset your mortgage dramatically as the homeowner. I did that when I bought my first house. Steve did that when he bought his house, right?
Yeah.
It works great.
And I bought a duplex, and it worked great. That was my first house.
Yeah, and it offsets it. It makes it more palatable for you financially, and and it's still fun because you're still with the same group, guys or gals or whoever you're living with that you were living with before. As long as you're all up front on the same page, just like anything, have set kind of expectations. Because I've seen it ruin relationships, just like anything, when money starts getting involved and someone owns something and all that. And you just got to make sure it's the right people, and also you have the right expectations and everything like that. It's a great opportunity. So.
We made it 1 year together, so I think we'll be all right. So we're doing another year at the rental place right now. Maybe I can beat them to buying a house, so then they can move in with me. So we'll see what happens.
It doesn't always have to be them, right? I mean, things will change. You guys meet people, you meet significant others, you end up going off, and someone, lo and behold, they get married or have a child, or all that, and all those things start to happen. So that's what ended up kind of happening slowly in my house. You have to peel off someone. Oh, they met someone. Now they're moving and buying a house, and now they're, so. But it's a really good time in the interim. So.
Well, and the other thing is, I know that you mentioned that you just signed a lease, Justin, and on the break we were talking about start the process even if you just signed a lease. Get in touch with the lender. You never know what's on there. And then they can set you up on a little schedule. So then you know what you need to clear up and when you should start looking, because you should actually start looking about 3 months before your lease is done. So not when it's done. And then with mortgages, you pay them in arrears, whereas rent you pay up front. So if you closed on a place June 15, your first mortgage payment would be August 1.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
Rents are in
another thing to
advance.
think
You always
about.
pay rents in advance, and then mortgages, interest accrues, and then you pay the accrued interest.
Yep.
See, now you're learning.
Yeah, I know. We're all at the beginning phases over
Yeah.
at my rental, so this is all great information.
Yeah.
We'll see
where
it goes from here.
I bought the house 6 months before my lease was up, where I was living with buddies. I had 2 other buddies live with me in an apartment, and then I bought the house prior because we were sharing the cost of the apartment, so it was very low individual rents. So I didn't mind buying the house in advance and then just paying out the rest of the lease because it wasn't that much a month. And then I already had other people, because they were getting married and moving off and buying a house. So then I had other people already ready to move in, so it kind of worked out nicely. So.
And time of year, too. If you can get into that spot where maybe January or February, you can go out and really look at homes at that point. There aren't a lot of other buyers out at that time of year.
Very
and
true.
so you're going to get more choice.
Yep.
It's going to be a better overall process. And you can buy a home with only $1,000 down. And so if you have other savings, you could use that to pay out the rest of your lease if you needed to, knowing that you're probably going to save on the purchase price of that home too, given that home prices have been increasing for the last, how many straight months? 70?
Is
Oh,
it 70
gosh.
months?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's up there. I don't know the exact number, but yeah, consistent increases. So the sooner the better.
Oh,
and if
absolutely.
rates stay low through then yeah, you've got a double reason why.
So what we're trying to say is we're not copying State Farm, or not State Farm, Allstate here, Justin, but you're in good hands right here in this room.
Okay,
So.
I'm sure I am. I got a whole year, so yep, I'm definitely starting to look pretty soon here.
It's good. It's good to keep active in the market. My cousin is actually looking, and they're just signed a lease through May of next year, but I set them up already on a system. so they can just track the areas they want and kind of see the flow of properties, see how long they sit on the market, what prices they go for, everything like that. So Justin, tell us more about yourself and what your company does.
Yeah, so I'm a solar consultant. I do solar site assessments at people's houses. So my office is the kitchen table of their house, which is great. I go out to their house and I see how solar can work on their property. Us as a company, we install solar in the entire state of Minnesota. So,
Oh, wow.
yep. Yeah, I go up to their house, measure their roof. I compare two things. I try to see what they're using already in terms of electricity, and then I see how many panels we can get on the roof and see what kind of damage we can do to their electric bill. Can we cut their electric bill in half? Can we get rid of all of it? That's what I go out and determine on a solar site assessment.
You can get rid of all of the electric bill?
It is possible. I probably meet with 4 in 10 people where they
my
can get rid of
gosh.
all of their electric bill.
Really?
Holy
Yep.
cow.
Mhm.
Is it expensive to install the panels, and like what is roughly average per house?
Yeah, that's a really tough question.
bet.
I would say it's, I mean, we do a minimum of 10 panels per house, maximum of unlimited. So it all depends on how many panels can we get on your roof, and what are your goals? Are we trying to get rid of as much as we can? Are we trying to get rid of all of your electric bill? That's what I do.
So, are you
figure
in
that out.
sales for that, Justin?
You're exactly right. Yep.
Okay, so, and I'm in sales obviously too, and all of us in this room are then. So a lot of times sales people, no offense to us as a group or you out there if you're a salesperson, we don't always understand the engineering or the dynamics of how it works, this everything like that. So I have maybe a couple questions on that.
Stab away. Yep.
Okay, so so I want to preface with that. So if you don't know the answer, it's okay. So basically, it goes on your roof, and I see them sometimes. You know, when you're driving around, you see them, and I see starting to see more solar. They go on your roof. They collect the sun. Obviously, is there all this connectivity? Does it drive right into your Excel? Like I have Excel, so I have an Excel meter. I'm sure somewhere I have a box. I think somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's
Does
going
it tie
on?
right
you
into
sure
that?
you're a
And then,
realtor?
Right.
and then the spinning. I'm not an Excel guy. The spinning thing in there
The meter. Yep.
slows down the little right. Is that what would happen?
Well,
then?
actually, what happens every single day is
because it spins fast sometimes. Mine does. I watch it sometimes.
I know.
We're using a lot of
I watch
electricity.
mine too, and it's not good.
No, what actually happens is your meter spins backwards during the day. You get paid by your utility company, and then you use up that money at night when the sun's not shining. So it's called net metering. Your meter's going to be spinning forwards or backwards when you have solar panels.
And does it
To
do a
make it
direct?
simple.
So the direct cost, when it's spinning forward, it's charging you X amount. When it's spinning backwards at the same speed, would it be crediting you back the same equal amount as the spinning forward, or how do they? Or is there different ratios and all that? Or
Well, people in Minnesota are lucky; they get paid the same as what they're charged. In other states,
wow,
it
that's
might
good.
be half. In others, I mean,
that's what I was going to
sometimes-
ask, because sometimes I could see the electric company saying, "Hey, you know what? We charge you this, but we credit you only this, right?"
Right. Yep. And yep. Exactly.
But they
So-
do equal.
Yep. Entire
Wow.
state of Minnesota. Yep.
That's awesome.
So Excel kind of sits there as a backup when you run out of your solar power. Is that the concept? So you're still connected to Excel even though you have all the solar panels.
You're exactly right.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. So,
Well,
not
it's not necessarily
run
running.
out.
It's not running on solar necessarily, right? Because it's going right into the electrical system. So your house isn't running on solar per se because you're still having the electricity hooked up, right?
right
So,
into your
yeah.
breaker box. You get to use all of the solar power first, and
Oh,
any
got it.
excess is literally the electrons are sent back to the power lines.
Wow.
Xcel will pay you, or whoever, Dakota Electric, Minnesota
Wow.
Power. Yep.
So I know there's probably hundreds, if not more, of you out there listening that would, because it's a good thing, right? And I think it's a good thing. How, maybe we can talk about this in the next segment too, is how do you go to that next step? Because it's something that I've thought about for a long time, and a lot of people probably have, and you probably have out there listening. You consult with you, but maybe we don't even want to consult with you because we're thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and we don't see that as a spend right now, and then get that back over a decade or whatever it may take. I mean, do you have those types of algorithms all run out and stuff like that?
Yep,
or-
exactly. When you meet with me, we do free solar site assessments. We see what's possible up on your roof. I tell you the cost of everything, and then there's incentives that pay for a maximum of 55% of the system guaranteed. So with the federal government,
55%?
55% is paid
Wow.
for in incentives. Yep, depending on your roof, how much sun you have. So if you think you have a sunny spot, no matter if it's south facing, east, west facing, we can put it on those roof spaces. We're just going to avoid the north side. Doesn't make too much sense to put it on the north side. We also have financing available, which really makes solar possible. I mean, it's kind of unheard of that people just pay for it outright. It's like buying a small car. People don't really do, people do it, but it's kind of unheard of. So people finance a car, or people finance a solar energy system. So what happens is you can get rid of a $100 electric bill, and then your financing for solar can be $100. I mean, it's like one for one. It's just where you want your money to go.
We're
Right.
getting at the break-even point and cash flow. And is it possible, we talked about this earlier, to cash flow positive right away? So
Month
that
one.
Month one, you get the panel on and your money ahead.
Your money ahead,
Potentially,
exactly.
yep.
You nailed it.
So
It
we're
used to
gonna-
be like 7 or 8 years to get to that point, but now it's immediate.
When you finance
Yeah.
it, you're potentially getting money back.
So is that because of the lower financing cost, and then possibly because of the higher efficiency of the solar panels that produce more?
Yep, a little bit of both.
electricity?
Yep.
Okay.
When you
And the
combine
incentives, too,
and
right?
the
Yep.
incentives,
And the
too,
incentives.
that are still available this year.
I want to run through a scenario when we get back on the next segment. We want to run through a scenario of how maybe Justin could give a couple examples of current clients or past clients about how that actually worked and run us through the math. I know Steve's awesome at math. How it would work to do a positive net revenue or net gain in your first month using solar.
Oh,
'Cause that's-
definitely. I'd be excited
that doesn't, folks, if you're listening to that, that means you put the solar in and you subtract your costs and you look at what you're paying every month for the installation of it, and you look at what you're gaining from your bill, and that you're actually making money on that, or net even, or gaining money. That seems too good to be true, but we'll be back with it when we come back. Thanks for listening.
Might as well be walking on the sun.